I'm Roy Potter, a former U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel. Welcome to the Potter Expositor.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, today is August 19th, 2017 while I'm making this, and I may or may not be able to put up some of my backgrounds and get dressed up for you. I'm having some things done. Like I said, a little under the weather lately, but at any rate, I did want to let you know that I'm still watching things, and we know about the freedom of speech rally that was held in Boston. A few hundred people apparently on the free speech side, and thousands of the alt-left showed up and are currently, as I'm making this, violently assaulting police. You know, when the DHS and the Department of Defense and the FBI, the Department of Justice, sent out all of those warnings to police agencies back a few years ago, and still do, especially from the Southern Poverty Law Center, places like that. And it talked about that constitutionalists, Christians, conservatives, vets, Second Amendment advocates, gun owners, you get the idea, are the real domestic terrorists and who are going to attack the police. We were trying to tell the police, and of course I was a police officer, I was an Army officer, trying to tell normal, the current police people that the real enemies were those conservatives, Christians, gun owners, etc. Never talking about Islamic terrorism, never talking about what we're now going to refer to as the alt-left. And unfortunately, a lot of police bought into that. And we've seen a lot of terrible things as a result. I won't go over those now, but I hope police officers are now opening their eyes to who their real allies are as opposed to their real enemies. And we've been seeing that more and more lately. And I think this thing in Boston is a good example. I am not surprised that thousands and thousands of alt-left showed up to protest the free speech rally. I'm not surprised at all. This is an all-out assault on the American concept of liberty. Indeed, an all-out attack on what I refer to in spiritual terms as the perfect law of liberty. And Soros is playing the part of a very, very evil man, and he's doing so happily, as are many members and agencies and organizations of the deep state. So I wanted to bring up something here that I suspect historians aren't missing this. I suspect that political scientists are not missing this. The question is whether or not they'll discuss it, because so many in those fields of discipline, and I use that term loosely, are on the alt-left side, at least to some extent. And so they're not going to bring this out, but I think that I need to, and so I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to talk about Red October, and I'm not talking about the movie The Hunt for Red October, or the Red October submarine in Tom Clancy's novel by that name. We're going to talk about the real history of what is known as Red October, the October Uprising, the October Revolution, and the Bolshevik Revolution. All of that happened in the October time frame, but there was a build-up to it, and we're actually seeing that now. watching all of these different things converge, I am very certain, as I am sure many in the intelligence community who have not already sold their souls to the alt-left and to Soros and the deep state, etc., can see that this thing is moving towards something serious in October. We know that Brennan and Clapper, indeed Al Gore, Mudd from the CIA, all of these people have talked about the calling of a coup against Trump and even his assassination. And Gore, they've all said it should be done in a few months, but Gore in particular said watch in the next few months, and he said that about a month ago. The point being that everything is now pointing to their celebration, the alt-left's celebration of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, the October Uprising, Red October, the Bolshevik Revolution, all that, etc., here in the United States, producing that here in the United States. So while I've been, I see Trump make one step forward and two steps back. At least that's the way it appears to me. And I'm critical of him when he fudges like this. By the way, I talking about fudge, some of you might know, this is just kind of a side note. I saw this sign that said, "Our family is like fudge, sweet but with lots of nuts." Just as a side note, I thought that was kind of cute. Anyway, so it really does look like this is 2017. The Bolshevik Revolution, the October Uprising, Red October, was in October of 1917. This is the centennial of that. So it wouldn't be surprising to me at all that this thing is working up towards a major bloodletting in October, or at least leading up to it. This is not an accident. And the divide in our country was created by the deep state, by the CIA, by the New World Order, by the alt-left in our educational institutions, etc., to prepare for this day. They've been doing this for at least 3 decades, if not longer. This is not an accident, and it's serious. So I don't even know if you can depend upon your local leaders. I don't know who's been bought off. I don't know who hasn't been bought off, let's put it that way. We have the UN bearing down with Agenda 21, which is now Agenda 2030, I guess, which has caused a lot of difficulty for a lot of people in agriculture and ranching, etc. Fomented and encouraged by agencies in our government. So we've been sold out at very, very many levels, and despite the fact that Trump has an enormous burden upon him, he still, at least to my observation, seems to be wilting a little bit. Maybe still compromising when he shouldn't. No, I would not want to be in his shoes. No, I wouldn't. So I don't mean to be judgmental, but I do have to point it out that there's a big thing coming in the next 30 to 60 days, just like Gore threatened. And considering the fact the centennial of the Bolshevik Revolution, the October Revolution, the Red October concept is coming up here in just a couple of months, it only makes sense as to why all of this is happening. I won't go into any other detail here. I'll just leave that for your perusal, your cogitation, and go ahead and Google or Start Page, whatever you use, the term Red October, not the movie. October Uprising, October Revolution, Bolshevik Revolution. It's all the same thing. The centennial is 2 months away. Out here for now.